What I have in my hand here is a piece of ridge vent, and I wanted to kind of explain what ridge vent is and what it does on a roof. So whenever you have an angled or a pitched roof like here, in this case with a peak, a high point, you want to have some way of exhausting or allowing the hot or moist air out from the attic space and into the atmosphere. And the way to do that is with a ridge vent. So just a quick thermodynamics lesson here is basically hot air rises. So what happens is you have hot, moist air rising through your house over time into the attic space. That collects in the attic space if you don't have an exhaust system, and then the moisture can build up in your attic, causing big problems. So what you want is eave vents at the bottom parts of the roof, which brings in cool air, and then you want a ridge vent across the peak of the roof, which allows that now warmed up air to circulate out into the atmosphere, taking along with it that moisture and stuff. So anyways, I have two styles of ridge vent here. This roof does have ridge vent on, but just for illustration purposes, you just take this roll, and this is a rigid style roll vent, and you nail it down across the ridge. So you open the ridge up on both sides about ½ an inch or so, and then you nail this down and secure it. And then what goes over top of that is a finished cap shingle like this, just to finish it off nicely. It allows the air to come up out of the attic space and vent here. You'll see this one has like a mesh in here to keep bugs and critters and stuff from entering into the attic space. Obviously, you don't want that. It also has a hard baffle system to make sure that the air flows properly. So this is a GAF Ridge Runner style ridge vent, a very effective way to get your attic to vent that moist hot air in the summer out of the attic, and then in the winter the moist cooler air that's condensing in your attic. Here's another style of ridge vent which I don't really like. It's just the mesh, so think of this stuff here basically without the rigid system behind it. And the reason I don't like this, it goes on the same way, but what happens is over time you get bugs and organic matter that kind of builds up along this edge right here, and then it becomes largely ineffective. So you nail it down, it works for a while, but invariably within 3 to 5 years this gunks up, and then you're not really venting your attic and you're back at square one. Highly preferable is more of a plastic style with a mesh inside, which kind of combines that good airflow over the long term because it has a rigid kind of form to it, not just the mesh. So there are other styles of ridge vent that I don't have here. A very popular one is an aluminum or metal style one across the top. It is effective in venting an attic space, but those often have problems with leaks. Usually between 10 and 15 years after they're put on, they start leaking. So most times it's just going to be this rigid style rolled ridge vent for the attic ventilation. And there you have it. That's a ridge vent, how it works and what it does.